Can you hear me well?
Yes.
Yes, we can.
Perfect. So first, big thanks to Tourism Webinar, for hosting this beautiful event. And thank you all for joining us. And especially, I would like to thank all the panelists I invited to join this beautiful session, Asia Pacific session, and especially Ambassador Do from Korea, Do Yeon-shim. So today, I'd like to say also thank you for Dr. Taleb Rifai for joining us. I know that Dr. Rifai is a strong supporter of women in tourism. And I would like to thank all, the supporters of this session. And I know that there are many people with us. And that's a real pleasure and honor to have you all here. So I will start this webinar saying that the panelists I invited are first friends. Of course, they are female friends, but first friend. This is why, I expect this session to be really moving and interacting with you because we feel comfortable. It's not, as I said, a no-nonsense conversation. We will talk with our brain, of course, because we are smart, but also with our heart. And this is a perfect opportunity for us to explain to tell about our stories. And when I will introduce the speakers, I will mostly tell their stories and also, to try to explain how we could play a positive role in tourism recovery and resilience in the Asia Pacific. And not only in Asia Pacific, but I would say Asia Pacific as a model, maybe for other destinations. And I would say also that tourism can play an exemplary role in tourism recovery and resilience. We would never insist too much on the positive role played by travel and tourism in supporting sustainable development, the transformation of our world. So having said that, just a few words about me, so that you understand who am I. Well, I'm Catherine. I'm the CEO of Destination Mekong, which is a destination management and marketing organization covering the greater Mekong sub-region, which includes China, Yunnan and Guangxi, Cambodia, Laos, Myanmar, Thailand, and Vietnam. And the main purpose of Destination Mekong is to champion the greater Mekong sub-region as a single, attractive, sustainable tourism destination. We are inclusive, which means that nobody should be left out, and especially women, because they are playing a very crucial role in tourism and hospitality in the region. Having said that, I will first give the word to Ambassador Do Yeon-shim, who I met in 2005. And Ambassador Do was my boss, I would say. Now she's a friend. And she's, for me, the perfect example of how women can play a leading role in advancing sustainable tourism in the region and in the world. Ambassador Do, it's your time.
Thank you, Catherine. Do you hear me clearly?
Yeah.
Do you hear me? Okay, thank you. Well, it's a great pleasure to be invited to this webinar, but also I'm very, very happy to meet, to see Dr. Rifai, such a great health. And I'm so glad we go back to our acquaintance for what, 3 decades, good 3 decades.
Yes,
but anyway, but I'm very happy. And thank you, Catherine, for inviting me. And I saw you made this women facing forward. I think it is a very nice brochure you made, and it's a very indicative what we are trying to do. As you know, women in tourism industry make up 65%. And they are in, in various skills and various levels of working. But anyway, I think they are valued in tourism industry. And most of them have been engaged small, medium business, but I would say micro. They're even smaller than small, medium business. And I'm talking about Korea, and also I'm talking about the countries around the world that I did STEP projects all around the world. And Dr. Rifai has been our guiding leader as a Secretary General of UNWTO World Tourism Organization. Having said that, I also saw that COVID-19 was really detrimental for women workforce. But as Catherine said, she stayed in Korea for almost 20 years, and she knows what's going on in Korea, and I know what is going on in Korea, and I know what women can do, women cannot do, and we still have a very the women is, I don't think we are equally accepted for our capability or capacity. Therefore, I would like to say the women leading tourism, sustainable tourism and travel industries, we have to do more energy, put more energy and attention how we can do the networking. I think we can, when we are networked, when we are work as a group, I think we can bring much better solution and result. And I'll tell you about Korean situation. Excuse me, Catherine knows as much as I do. See, Korea, when I was born, it was like third poorest country in the world. Now, especially I see the participants of Asia Pacific, Korea is very big on K-pop and K-drama, K-cosmetics. We have become suddenly 10th largest economy of the world. Behind this, there was women, Korean women, we did this. And we are very proud, but we have not been properly acknowledged by all sectors of Korean society. So I'm working very hard politically, whether I can really urge political will of leaders of our country to give more room, more in recognition for women. And we have, I'm very thankful that we have a former Secretary General Ban Ki-moon, after he retired from for serving 10 years at the United Nations, he came back to Korea, and he is working very, he's helping like people like me, group like us, to really say, to go gender equality, like Catherine said, leaving no one behind under the SDG slogan. So having said this, I'm very optimistic in some way, because when I was a member of parliament, there were only 4 ladies out of 298. Now we have 53 ladies out of 298. So we have come a long way, but we're progressing. That is a very Korean way, rooted in Confucius philosophy. So it's not hard, but I see that people like Catherine, people like you are the lights of young generation. I think you will, when you become my age, I think you will enjoy much more broadly supported society for you to do. And at the end of the day, coming back to tourism, tourism is women. When we travel, I make the decision for my family. It's a mother, we make the decision. And so I think tourism is a very, very important industry linked with women. So I have great hope, and I'll be very happy to work with you guys when we say women leading sustainable tourism and travel industries. I think that's where we should go, put our energy together to go that direction. This is all I have to say. thank you for giving me time to speak.
Thank you, Ambassador. Thank you. And I need to thank you also, for giving me your confidence and for allowing me to express, my capacities when I was working with you, because I think that we all have the power inside, but we met very few people, who allow us, to express this power. So thank you so much. Also, I would like to thank all the people who are with us online and women in tourism and UN women. We have something like 600 viewers now. It's not about the numbers, it's really about the trust you put in us. So now I would like to introduce Kundi Suvimol Tanasarakish, who is the Executive Director of the Mekong Tourism Coordinating Office. And
before I go off, Catherine, let me give these flowers to all of you for happy
thank you so much.
Women's Day tomorrow. Okay, happy.
Thank you.
Thank you, Do. Thank
you so much. Even if the song says I can buy myself flowers. So Dee started her job as executive director of MTCO almost at the same time as I studied as the CEO of Destination Mekong. We met very quickly and we bonded very quickly. And, Dee, I'm so happy, that you are my counterpart for the public sector. So without any other word, I'll let you talk.
Thank you so much, Catherine. That was a very nice introduction. Thank you so much. And happy to see all of you online here. A lot of family faces and also a lot of people that I haven't got any chance to meet you in person, but I hope that one day, someday soon, we will meet with each other. And also thank you so much for Dr. Talib Rifai. May I ask if you like to address anything? Because I saw you raise your hand. It's very nice of me to meet Dr. Talib Rifai here.
I think it's by mistake. Just go ahead, please.
Okay, I see. Let me start with my session. Let me introduce myself. My name is Dee, or you can call me Dee. That's the easiest way to call me. The full name is Suwimon Thanasarakit. I'm Thai. I'm the Executive Director of Mekong Tourism Coordinating Office, which is the organization which is the tourism collaboration framework among the GMS, Greater Mekong Sub-region countries. This MTCO office was established 17 years ago by the 6 government countries, namely China, Cambodia, Laos, Myanmar, Thailand, and Vietnam. They are our member countries, and our role, MTCO role, is to facilitate and do activities as advised by the member countries to perform the work that for the tourism development for the region. So thank you so much for having me here. It's such a privilege to be speaking here today, particularly on the women focus session, which is my favorite topic, of course. I, just like many of you, am a woman, mother, and a wife. And of course, just like many of the women here, I am expected to be the household manager, looking after or being responsible for the household work, boring household work. This seems to be the obligation of us as a woman. It is the expectation from the society to be woman, to be the wife and mother. But sadly, this kind of work, this kind of duty is often seen as non-work, non-economical value, which is quite sad. Actually, when you make decision, when you're a family, the statistics show that 70% of the booking is decided by women. So you can see that in the family, women play a very important role, and everyone knows that. But it's different when you see the role of women in the tourism industry and many other industries. In the most communities, role of women is seen as a supporting role, not a leading role, supporting role. In the tourism sector, as mentioned by the ambassador just now, majority and large percentage of the workforce in this industry are female. More than 55–60% of workforce industry are female. But sadly, only 20% are holding the managerial positions. And even worse, only 8% of the female are having high position with high responsibilities. This is quite sad. When you look, the statistics also shows that before COVID-19, 2019, the percentage of female tourism ministers at that time was 15.6%. And last year, 2022, the percentage of female tourism minister dropped down to only 9%. You can see that there is such a big difference in terms of role of women comparing to men. Why we are saying that, why women playing a big role in tourism sector workforce, why we are seen as a supporting role. As mentioned by the ambassador just a few minutes ago, because mostly women are performing a work like in the accommodation sector, food and beverage, serving the food, being waitress, opening store, making coffee, making souvenir, making handicrafts, cleaning, housekeeping jobs. These are seen as a low skill job, hence low salary. Even when you compare the salary of women and men who are holding the same position, being given the same amount of work, the salary for women are still lower than men for a very strange reason. I think all the description here has shown us reflects something, some sad story about being women. It is true that women are given the expectation by the society that we have to be giving the highest priority to our family. This is the reason why a lot of women doing part-time job, seasonal job, because they have to look after their family first. That's why most of the time, the women's work are part-time job, seasonal job, or informal term. What do I mean by informal term? For example, we have seen a lot of homestay, right? Homestay business are operated by women. During COVID-19, all the countries shut down, no tourists. Homestay business were closed, such as like coffee shops, souvenir shops, they were closed. And these women who form the majority of the workforce do not receive the relief package from the government because they are considered not eligible, because they are informal workers. So they suffered. This is what happened. So, which I think this kind of thing is just something that we need to address, not only the public sector, but also the private sector. Also, when we talk about Asia Pacific region, comparing to other parts of the region, women in Asia are brought up and trained in the way that we should be polite, we should be quiet, we should not voice out our thought, we should not argue with other people. And we should have female character, being nice, a nice lady. But to be honest, we have to accept that this is one of the items, one of the reasons which restrict Asian women in taking the leadership role, not only compared to men, but also compared to women from Western countries. Asian women are seen to be unfit with the leadership role. This is the situation that we need to fix, and there are ways to fix it. What I'm talking about here about the role of women who in the tourism sector, that we are, most women are underrated, they are undervalued, they deserve to be recognized more, acknowledged more. There are reasons behind that. For example, just I said, family background, family expectation, lack of access to the education, lack of access to the funding resources, funding sources, for example, for women who want to be the entrepreneur, or some of them even lack of training session, and also lack of networking opportunities. These are things which we could look at when we have the few years ago, since the COVID-19, UNWTO, development partner, many organizations all over the world now agree to put women empowerment at the center stage and as a key part of tourism development, to build back better, to be a part of tourism development in the more sustainable way, to be in a more inclusive way, and to be a more resilient way. This kind of, so we have seen a lot of work being done to empower women, which is a good progress, as I said, but still a lot of work to be done. And what can we do to help women? For example, women must be given the access to information, access to equal amount of opportunities, and they must be given the power to express their views and express their aspirations. Apart from that, women must be given the power to participate, such as they must be involved or part of the implementer of the work, not just support, but they must be hands-on on the work as an implementer. They must be given the power to control, not only to participate in the project, but also to take control, to supervise, to make decisions, and to be the policy maker for the work that they are doing. And last but not least, they must be given the equal amount of benefit, which is normally in most cases given to men more than women. I have to admit that in many countries in Asia Pacific, particularly in this region, maternity leave is short. Paid maternity leave is short. Comparing to other Western country, developed Western country, both men and women can take maternity parental leave, but that's not the case for our region. So, which is not quite sad. So, what we can do? We have seen a lot of progress being done, but more work still, a lot of work still has to be done. Women still need to have a lot of opportunities, access, being recognized, access to networking opportunities, entrepreneurship, training, a lot of things that still need to be done. And I would like to say here that it's the work that has to be done and hand in hand. Among all the sectors, public, private, NGO, development partners, if we work together, I'm confident that we will progress and achieve the resilient, more inclusive tourism, whereby no women will be left behind. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dee. And indeed, it's very difficult for Asian women, I would say, for cultural point of view, even religious point of view, that even if Asian women are strong, indeed, they don't have the opportunity to express this power. Again, when we talk about empowerment, it suggests that women don't have the power. Again, I think personally that they have the power, but they cannot express it. And sometimes for them, out of, I would say, convenience, but maybe that's not the right word, they prefer, not to be demanding, not to get the power the responsibilities that they deserve. But at the same time, women are giving life. And when it's about travel and tourism, they're also giving enjoyment, the hospitality, I mean, the smile of a woman, sorry to say that, has not the same effect of the smile of a man, even if smiles are so beautiful. Now, what I mean is that hospitality is an important word in Asia. And I would say women really contribute to this hospitality, the quality of hospitality. At the same time, recently, someone suggested that, yeah, there are a lot of troubles in issues, not troubles, but that's the same in Asia. I would say, coming from a Western country, I would say there is also a problem even in France, where, for example, recently there was a poll to women, and the poll concluded that over 30% of French women don't want to have children. The main reason is that they simply don't want to have children. There is no, excuse of culture or convenience. So it means that maybe at some point not having children is also a way of protesting. And I think it's very sad, because we can have everything, and the women are brave enough to handle multiple tasks and to be in charge. Having said that, I will not talk steal the time to other speakers. So now I will give the words to Jasmine Pakmawi from Mekong Institute. And Jasmine, are you here?
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Jasmine is a regional trade and investment program coordinator at Mekong Institute in Thailand. She's from Myanmar, and I met her last year when we worked together for a beautiful project for smart sustainable tourism development in the Mekong region. And I was lucky enough, to be involved in this project. I'm here in Hue, Vietnam, as part of this project. So, Jasmine, thank you so much for joining us. Now it's your turn.
Thank you, Catherine. Good afternoon, everyone. I am Jasmine Pakmawi from Myanmar, and I'm currently working for Mekong Institute. And it is an absolute honor to be here with you all of you today, alongside these amazing women. Firstly, let me introduce the Mekong Institute. We are an intergovernmental organization that works with 6 countries along the Mekong River Basin, namely Cambodia, Laos, Myanmar, Vietnam, Thailand, and southern provinces of China. And our goal is to strengthen regional economic operation and integration through capacity development, research, knowledge exchange platforms, and partnerships with both public and private sectors in these 6 countries. Today, I am very excited to share with you some of my key learnings from our current ongoing project, which is the Sustainable and Smart Tourism Development in the Mekong region that Catherine just mentioned. This project aims to enhance particularly tourism competitiveness through smart technologies adaptation in UNESCO heritage sites of the Mekong countries. The activities include the smartphone application development, hospitality training and mentoring program, local products exhibition events, investment forums, and UNESCO heritage town twinning, etc. And why heritage tourism, you may ask? So today I would like to specifically focus on this heritage tourism, which is the key driver of cultural tourism as well, and which is on the rise with an very increased interest in cultural travel. According to the UNWTO, about 40% of all tourism across the world accounts for cultural and historical travel. And additionally, the global culture tourism market is expected to reach $1.8 trillion by 2028. At the same time, what makes this tourism industry, especially in the heritage destination, so special is that I would say there are many other industries or subsectors largely involved within the tourism ecosystem. And the market is so fragmented with the presence of many small key players where many local communities have the chance to be involved and play a part. For example, textile, fashion, accessory industry, food industry, including agri-food processed products or culinary, fine arts and performing arts, industry, artisan industry, etc. are all these within the ecosystem. And the key market players are the local communities, and the very, very large share of them are women. The surrounding district, town, villages, each province have our enriched tradition, and local experts are always happy to share techniques and their intimate knowledge with the travelers, the visitors. And these are the critical roles in enhancing, the traveler experiences and engaging the local communities. Not only that, heritage tourism, this destination can also have this opportunity to retain the young labor force, including vulnerable girls who are at risk to human trafficking and forced labor, because if no job in the provincial or the rural level, they would have otherwise moved to the more capital city, migrate there for a better job. And so these are some of the key interesting areas. And on the other hand, the concerns for managing heritage tourism effectively to avoid any negative social, cultural, economic impacts of these local communities are growing. This means that it is getting a little bit trickier to balance the local economy's self-sufficiency and the environmental sustainability, especially the recent no-go commitments made by large farms with their very big industrial investment in order to protect the preservation and conservation of cultural and natural heritages. These economies, or the economies, these heritage sites, they largely rely on the economic participation of the local communities and small businesses in order to sustain. And the interesting part is here, interestingly, women are at the forefront of the social and environmental practices in these particular places. I mean, we already know from the previous speakers that women dominate this industry. We are very concentrated, but also in a very low pay, low skill job level. But at the same time, they are playing, both entrepreneurs or even employee. These women are playing a very big key role in promoting sustainable practices and ensuring that this tourism is managed in a way that benefits both the environment and the local communities. So some of them we can name: social and eco-conscious consumers targeting businesses. Or when we travel these, especially these 5 locations in Mekong countries that our project targeted, we would see everywhere. Most of we would invite the local businesses to come and attend and exhibit their to showcase their products, their goods, their services, their practices. A lot of them are very social conscious businesses that specifically target this type of people as well. We can name it plastic-free products who are producing for other companies or cafe or along this side, and natural fibers to do basket weaving, very authentic handmade ceramics or handmade textiles, carvings, and artisans. A lot of these are very environmental friendly production in a very production way. A few examples I would like to share. One such attraction that employs is Lotus Farm by Samatoa. Excuse me if I pronounce this correctly. So they provide skill training to hundreds of vulnerable women from the villages, and they specifically target eco-conscious travelers looking for authentic and sustainable handicrafts and who want to learn or agricultural value chain in one place. This is in Siem Reap, and we all understand that specifically or deliberately employing women, empowering vulnerable women it has a very a big multiplier effect in the families, in the communities, in their children, their health, nutrition, consumption of their kids. All of these benefits are contributed by these kind of practices. And another one is Chempa Chuan in Siem Reap, who employs women and builds her handmade product businesses using recycled fabrics. Or in Thailand, the artisans Ayutthaya is run by widow women aged between 55 and 94 who cook up delicious local cuisine with their culinary skills. Or meanwhile, women in Vietnam, they have transformed their unpaid domestic work into paid domestic work through village homestays, outside Hue heritage sites that we have just mentioned. So community-based tourism, such as this kind of village homestay or village visits, and also empowers women and transform their traditional gender roles. And I also would like to highlight the inspiring story of Hor Sorors, a Cambodian woman who founded the social enterprises Rokak Women Handicraft, with the aim to empower impoverished women from a floating village community near Siem Reap. And by using sustainable water hyacinth to craft gorgeous basket bags, this Rokak social enterprise support the local communities, and they give back with these women the ability to live themselves out of poverty while generating income to sustain their families. So their mission is not only to promote economic empowerment, but also to give these women the dignity, pride, skills to make decisions for their families and have a better agency for their life and also for their future of their families. So at Mekong Institute, we always seek a way to harness the economic participation and maximum contribution of women players in these 6 Mekong countries. And one of the project that I had just mentioned, one of the main components under this project, Sustainable and Smart Tourism Development Project, is that the development of a new mobile phone application. So through this, I hope that we will be able to strengthen and enhance the very tourism competitiveness of these women entrepreneurs. Especially, I'm sure we all are aware that the recent progress made with AI and metaverse technologies that present so much opportunities for women players and that they could tap into. For example, from this mobile application phone, we hope that travelers' information will be collected and their patterns, the consumers' behaviors can be used into market research, market analytics. We can do big data analysis that both the governments can better create better services in this area, but also for these women will help inform their decision making in terms of the quality and the sustainability of the services and goods that they offer. And we also hope that with this digitization of their business better, they will be able to diversify their target market groups. Because as we all know, hospitality or this tourism industry is very limited, even though we say women are crowded. But if we really think of the type of business they can go to, there are not much opportunity to diversify more than this, not much space, I would say. So we hope that even if they are not able to diversify their business type itself or products itself or their skills itself, at least they could diversify with the help of technology that would help them cut their language barriers, for example, or access to information about their different market that they could target from across the world. So I'm saying this because in 2021 alone, 70% of travel plans in the heritage tourism segment was made offline directly to travel agents. And this, I think, can somehow tell us the digital connectivity to improve in these heritage sites, which are usually located in the countryside. Though this could also mean the consumers' demographics, such as their age and digital usage and preferences. And having said this, I hope I do not run the time too much. There are three things I would like to highlight as the way forward. Firstly, there's a very big gap between the funding that the funding between gender financing. When we compare male-led startups or male-led businesses to female-led startup, but business founded by women actually generate higher revenue. This, according to research evidence-based, but most commercial banks and private sector investors in all of these countries that offer SME financing, they do not deliberately target women-led SME as a market segment, especially within this tourism industry. There are many ways that they can incorporate gender lens into their, in their marketing or product design or their business strategies. I mean, I'm talking about the financing SME investors, equity investor, or private startup investors, such as angel investor. So that means that for one very example I could say is, as of 2021 in Myanmar, there were around 3.3 million self-employed women running informal micro-level businesses, and they were struggling to scale up their operations to the next level because they need some financing in order to scale up. Apart from many other number of barriers and contracts that I believe we all already know. So while many different research reports, white papers, they have repeatedly highlighted the issue of this access to finance as a major obstacle impeding the growth of women-led businesses. There has been very little discussion about the importance of gender mainstreaming within the financial services provided themselves, the supply side. So the discussion is always, women need to step up their game. They need to work on maybe their application process, maybe their loan applications are not good enough, their business plan is not good enough, maybe because they don't have the collateral they need, because usually it's under the man's name, the property ownership and deeds or land that they need for collateral, for example. So there is always women become the victim, in all of this, and then the solutions are always towards the women. But I strongly believe that we also need to look at the commercial bank side. And when I conducted the gender land investment workshop with commercial investment banks, 12 commercial investment banks in Myanmar, these representatives are the one who manage SME loan investment, loan management teams. So I was very shocked to discover that none of the participants had actually ever attended any type of gender-related training or event before. So as a result, when we did gender performance exercise with a list of criteria within, the loan appraisal process, starting from their outreach, their marketing, and the way they advertise about their loan availability, or the application form, what needs to be done, or the requirements for that, or throughout or until final selection or their interviews process. And most of them, actually all of them, they said that their services are gender blind or gender neutral. So they don't assess, or some have a very a blur between gender blind and gender neutral. They would say, we are gender neutral. We don't want to discriminate men by saying we only want to focus on women, something like that. So But by the time we talk about gender aware, gender smart, gender responsive strategies, they said, okay, we are gender blind. they accepted it. So this tell us that SME financiers, including all of these, even public loans providers, currently exhibit very, very low levels of gender awareness and adoption of gender lens in their business models. So this may contribute a very big low result in significant lower number of women borrowers in their loan portfolios, or a lack of gender-based customer segmentation or technical support for their borrowers based on the needs of their specific genders, because the types of most women, the type of businesses that women tend to operate and the type of businesses that men tend to operate are not the same. So they may need different types of maybe long terms. For example, in tourism, women may need, the business are very seasonal. In high season, they need to decorate, for example, for the village homestay that are run by community women. They may need to beautify, they need to decorate again after a big flood or a big monsoon season, for example, for the high, or they need to, so they might need some type of, very different working capital for their business. So I do believe that these are an area that government sectors or women supporting organization that we could look into. Another thing is that this, as we mentioned, good ESG performing SMEs in the tourism industry tend to be led by either women entrepreneurs or tend to be businesses that employ a lot of women. So this should be I believe that they should be offered public loan incentives without, collateral or interest or tax holiday or some type of incentives to give them, because currently bigger or larger firms are being offered by governments about this, because they are perceived that, okay, they have a much bigger negative environmental harm. Therefore, here, your tax holidays, here, your loan incentives, this type of benefits they're given. But SME level or smaller level, or especially within the tourism industry, this we cannot find these practices. So we would like to also lobby about this for this area. And the second thing is that a policy maker, I believe, we also mentioned about the lack of the representation of women in decision-making roles. And I would like to particularly mention about women in the government or policy making government sector legislators area, because women are often left out of these important decision-making roles around the world in politics. For example, in 2020, less than 10% of tourism ministers in Asia Pacific countries were women. And this is a big problem, because women make up half of the population and they have unique needs and perspectives, as we said, that they could contribute to represent the interests of other women. So this is very important for achieving gender equality, to have more women women ministers or women in the higher level. When we travel to these 5 locations in heritage tourism areas, UNESCO heritage sites, I noticed that we would have meetings with many various department offices, and most of the people we would meet are the head, usually men. So not even usually, most of them were men, and the women would sit there maybe as a secretary to write something down or something like that. So I do believe that this is an area, an important area that that could help women overcome these obstacles and succeed in leadership positions if we could pay a better attention in this area. And finally, I would like to reiterate the importance of sex disaggregated data. Statistics on labor force participation are mostly shown and categorized in broader economic sectors, and there is very, very limited gender data by industry segments or product types or business nature, business size, or geographics. For example, what percentage of women entrepreneurs run what type of business and in which location, in province or in capital city, rural, urban. Within the tourism sector, data is missing. We don't have this. Without such specific data, it's very difficult to analyze the gender, specific problems or that may be very useful information as a way to measure women's entrepreneurship or women's labor force participation within the industry. So the inequalities between genders it's harder to make it, basically, it's harder to make it, it's harder to see. So which is obviously a very big issue. And this is already recommended by UNWTO as well in their report. And they also had, when they did the research, they seem to have this problem, and they use self-employed women as an indicator for women entrepreneurs. So when they talk about women entrepreneurs, we basically don't really know who actually are on the entrepreneurship level that are medium or SME level or micro, or just basically just self-employed at home, doing maybe just one person doing a tailoring, for example, for visitors or things like that. So that is a very important area, I would say. So overall, having this sex disaggregated data should be made sure that we are. This will help us that we are treating men and women equally, and most importantly, equitably in the tourism industry. And it will also help us create policy and programs that actually work and help women based on their specific needs in the field. So I will conclude my my speak with this, and thank you very much. I'm very sorry if I ran out of time.
Thank you, Jasmine. That was very much interesting. So sometimes we need to take the time we need to make our point, and I think your point is very important and interesting, especially because data are important. We need to highlight some situations that are hidden, I would say, or uncovered, especially when it comes to informal sector. And this is, not, it is necessary. This is not an option. We talk about smart tourism, artificial intelligence, and it's time, to use data and information properly to be able to make the right decisions and to highlight some situations that should not be no longer accepted. So I would like to ask, thank you, Jasmine. Dr. Rifai, would you like to say a few words?
Yes, I would like to. Thank you so much. I've listened very carefully to what Jasmine and her colleague said, and it's very, very important to highlight this because women are very important to tourism. Now, either on the service provider side or the consumer side. On the service provider side, women represent about 70% of the workforce, but they only represent no more than 22% of the managerial posts. Why is this? It's very unfair. And it's something that we should handle very quickly. We should fix very quickly. It's a shame that we're still talking about gender equality now and here. Gender equality is goal number 5, Sustainable Development Goals of the United Nations. But it's important also to note that women are not only 100% equal to men, they're even smarter than men in many cases. Look at the political arena, for example. You have the Prime Minister of Finland, that of Australia, New Zealand. They are doing a much better job than any man can do, for sure. And even Angela Merkel, when she was Chancellor of Germany, or Queen Elizabeth, when she was still Queen of England, they've done a much better job than any man can do. It is therefore, I feel ashamed that we're not doing much about this as a man, because men have been ruling this world for the last 10,000 years. They don't have much to show us nowadays. But it's important that we always remember that women are not only equal to men, they're smarter than men. I say this, I'm a very firm believer in man's ability, woman's ability to do things, to manage things in a better way. Even on the consumer side, women are, for example, they're the ones that take the decisions where to go and how to go, when to go, to places. It's a tourism decision that they're taken at home. But we don't gear our propaganda for them. We don't gear our advertising to them at all. So it's important that we keep that in mind. And I would like to say something at the end, that although I'm a man, I speak like this, you can expect what women in my place would say about women. It's important that we keep that in mind when we do any new venture. Now, that's what I want to say for the time being. Thank you so much, Catherine. Thank you, Suzanne, Jasmine.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Rifai. This is very important, for us. Your words are so important. And you know that women make sacrifices, and many times they are the one in charge during crisis, wars, or pandemic. They are here. And I would say also, I'm sorry I don't have children, not for the same reason of the 30% of French women, but I would say this is very important to notice that women are suffering to give birth to men and women. It's not easy for us. We are in pain most of the time, and we are here for you. We are here, to make your life comfortable, convenient, happy. And I think, it is time to acknowledge this crucial role, because I'm not considering myself an activist. I'm not an activist, but I think things should be normal, things that people think that are taken for granted. No, it really requires a lot of energy and sacrifices to be a woman and to allow this world, to be a better world. And I'm not, minimizing the role of men, of course. There are great men everywhere. But at some point, we should not continue to be left out or even think that we are less than men, because it's wrong. It's wrong. So thank you so much, Dr. Rifai.
It's wrong to keep talking about gender equality nowadays. It's wrong to do that, because this should have been passed 50 years ago. We should have been there. Now, we're still talking about gender equality.
Definitely.
Thank you so much, Kate.
Thank you. You are most welcome. And thank you so much. So now we are coming back to Korea, where I can tell you, for living for 17 years in Korea, the position of women is not easy. So I will give the word to Daisy Park, who is a sustainable tourism specialist and destination management specialist as well, and the CEO of Tour de M in Korea. Daisy, are you here?
Yes, I am.
Yeah, she's here.
Okay. Great to meet you all. Actually, I'm speaking in Hue in Vietnam, but actually I'm presenting as a representative of Pacific Islands. So let me share my slides because actually seeing is believing. I'm sure most of you here in this room might have not been in Pacific Islands, and I don't think you have a free chance to visit there because it's because of distance and costs a lot of things. Do you see the slides properly? Cassie, can you see the slides?
I can see your slides.
We can see it.
Right. Yes. Actually, my first job in this industry was a representative for Fiji Islands in Pacific countries. And actually, I'm also work for Samoa Islands, and now actually work for Pacific Tourism Organization. And my organization has like more than 21 island countries. So Fiji, Samoa, Vanuatu, Solomon Islands, a lot of islands has their own authority as a country. So when USA has a kind of vote power, one single vote power, but my actually organization has a 21 voting power. So this is very powerful in a country organization. But I'm representing as a tourism manager for Korean market. Because of COVID, I'm sure you will understand that because it's island country, they closed their border as soon as COVID happened. So that impacted a lot because the tourism is the main backbone of the industry. But not only the COVID situation, but also the climate change affected a lot. So like they're basically thinking, their name is thinking. So I'm gonna share you their situation and then what's the role of the woman. I just presented this topic to the World Human Rights City Forum. They asked me to present about climate change and women. That was my topic. But I want you to also think about what's the relationship with the woman and climate change. So that was my topic, and these are actually what I have presented at this forum. You will see the situation, the real situation of Pacific countries. When they have a kind of like a typhoon or earthquake, these countries are just broken, like whole blown up. This is one of the islands in Pacific. They are basically actually sinking now, and you will see the waves are coming every day. So they actually have threatened by losing their land and houses. So they have to climb up some certain mountain to live there. And this is Kiribati, like as a kind of mainstream. So this, you will see how fear they have every day. It looks quite beautiful when you see as a tourism, it's a kind of a normal people. If you think about people living there, they'll be very much threatening with this situation. We just can say climate change is getting serious. It's really a tough thing, but they're actually namely suffering from this situation. And what will be the woman actually for this situation? So women have to feed their children. They have to take care of their family. So those actually a tough thing, tough job are given for women. I don't think men also try to help, but actually women has much more responsibility, and they have a feeling of pity for the children especially. So women has much more burden from this situation. And many actually Pacific countries have suffered from climate change situation, and they actually are moving actually to the other islands. So Kiribati, Tuvalu, and Nauru, those countries are buying their lands in Fiji or Australia. They're actually practically moving, and when they move, because of the climate change, they have to keep working. They have to feed their kids and family, but they have to actually have a job in other countries. So that their goal is not to avoid their climate change, but be a right people in other countries. So they actually wish to have an immigration with dignity. So they are focusing on education and try to get new jobs in new destinations. And not only just for the climate change, the sinking issue, they don't have much clean water. because of the all like water within land are quite spoiled with a sea level. And many actually countries in Pacific were experimented by USA for preparation war. So they are still suffering from kind of disease out of this experiments, including Marshall Islands. And these actually explosion was quite massive, and so many actually people are dying for their cancer, like especially from this atomic pitfalls. And they're actually the ashes and remnants actually remaining still on these islands. So they have to really they have to live with this actually trashes out of these experiments for USA. And also they are suffering, big disasters, earthquake, because they are actually within the ring of the fire. So every year they have to suffer earthquake, tsunami, everything. And the level of disaster is quite massive. So like it's 8.9 or 9 sometimes. So the land will be actually shaken whole. So they actually have to rebuild their houses every year. So these are actually situations they are experiencing every day, every year. And I'm sure you have heard about Tonga. Tonga recently had an underwater volcanic eruption. So their land was actually broken into 2 pieces. So actually, but because of the internet issue, these actual people's life on Tonga was not really exposed as much as has to be. So people still have suffering, but actually the world doesn't really pay attention to their life. And this is the picture of the cyclone during the pandemic period. Because of the sea rising level, so they're actually first refugee of climate change. So what they can do is just worrying and waiting for the kind of support from other countries. But the woman actually in this situation, has a really very hard feeling for their kids, for the future of the kids. So they have no land to live, no food to eat, and actually no education center. That they're just worrying about the daily life. Because of the food issue, they have to get some donation from developed country like USA and then UK. So what they eat every day is spam, spam like kind of sausage, like rice and a bread. So that's all they eat. That's why actually getting really fat. So obesity rate is highest in the world. So like the number 1 obesity rate in the world is like all in Pacific Islands. From number 1 to 10, obesity ranking is all in the Pacific countries, especially women are quite really fat because of the food dietary issue. And they actually also have a much disease out of this food dietary problems. So like, yeah, if you are a woman, because I have 2 kids, and then my actually daily concern is what to feed them. But if I don't have any food but spam or like rice, I'll be very much be heartbreaking. But actually, women has to handle it, even though they don't have anything. And even the violence is happening because actually some countries in Pacific, including Fiji, Solomons, they're quite warriors. So the family system in like those certain countries in Pacific, women are quite allowed to be beaten. So they're actually legally allowed to be beaten, like because it's kind of to keep their society, their regulation. I don't really agree with it, but I've seen many cases like they have a kind of bats for beating women and children. So these actually irrational regulation are still alive in certain island countries. So women actually are quite much violence after climate change because men have no job after climate change and they stay quite long at home. And then they just fight with them women. So these actually violence are quite happening and it's kind of pervasive these days as well. So this actually graph showing you the women experience intimate partnership violence in Pacific countries is getting bigger. especially in Melanesian countries where the war actually has happened. And these actually like disasters, climate change, sinking problem. I don't think anyone can solve this problem because it's too much, and then we cannot save them. We just like can help them for sending some good food or some taking care of certain kind of health problems. We don't have much thing to do. But what I have found during this COVID situation, women actually had a kind of try to associate together. So they actually rethink about their ability because of their islanders. They actually survived from nothing. And when they immigrant to certain island, there was nothing actually on the island. So they actually rethink about their former life, their ancestors. So women actually had to, handle with climate change, all food issue. So they actually gather all together, so become very strong. So they actually make their handicrafts, food items, and something to export among making kind of women association together. So they are very active even after COVID-19. And then they actually, lead their family now instead of men actually before. So they are talented, smart women, and actually they know how to take care of people. They actually always take care of each other. So these are actually habit of women, especially in the Pacific countries. So women's power is getting stronger even before pandemic happened and climate change. And many young women are getting educated, and they become a leader now. Especially some Pacific countries, like almost 5 countries in Pacific, they are actually women are leader of their Pacific country. And then they have an Inspiring Woman, Pacific Woman Society. And then they actually always bring their pool from other countries so that they can be a stronger power and then knowledge and wisdom together. So this is one of the activity they actually carried out during pandemic and climate change problem. And as I mentioned, Pacific women, first women leaders in Samoa, Kiribati, and Palau. Let's see. So they're actually secret. How they become a leader? They always take care of family, and they actually try to develop their own skill. They try to branding themselves, and they always take care of the community. They always actually carry their reputation healthy and become an expert in whatever they do. They always think about bring the strategy, how to take care of their society and family. And then they always very stand stronger, and they just try to voice up. These are actually the secret, the first woman leader in Pacific actually become. So they always take care of the people, not just only one by themselves. They try to take care of people, family, network. Those are actually key policy, key behavior they as a leader in the Pacific. So also these associations are supported by many other countries like Taiwan, America as well. So these organizations become actually globally known, and they become the leader of the Pacific overall to cope with other difficulties in the Pacific countries. So this is called mana. Mana is like quite traditional wording of Pacific people. The power, inherited power from the ancestors. Having mana, they can overcome anything. They the source of wisdom, source of passion and energy. These are actually the source of mana. So they trust themselves. They actually believe what they have from the beginning. So they try to bring it up when they have difficulties. So these are the secret how Pacific Island people survive, and even women get stronger even during the pandemic and difficult times like now. So this is all for me. Actually, I try to share what's happening in Pacific country because it will be very new to you. And then feel free to let me know when you have a question about Pacific countries. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Daisy. And you are right. No, Asia Pacific is also about Pacific. So that's a really great choice, of presentation. And I had to say that when I met you not so long ago, I knew that you were so active and smart and brilliant. And it took me a while to realize that you were also a mother. So I didn't know you had children. So congratulations, Daisy, for being so inspiring. So now I will give the word to Duang Mala Pumavong from Laos. And Duang Mala, again, I didn't meet her long ago. She's very strong, she's very passionate, and she's one of the women leaders in Asia Pacific in tourism. So Duang Mala, it's your turn.
Thank you very much, Kathy. And hi, everyone. So, once again, Duang Malapomawong. I'm from Laos. So, my business is linked to tourism quite almost. Exo Travel Laos, Hotel Villa Mali and Passion Blanc in Luang Prabang, and Monument Books and Toy in a shop in Vientiane. So, today, as the women entrepreneurs, I would like to share some thought that on my experience during COVID pandemic time. So, of course, everyone know that the pandemic of COVID is the impact to tourism industry in the world, not only here in Laos. My own experience is at that time, I see that everyone just closed the door. I mean that, okay, everyone decide to keep the business on standby. But I think different way. So I keep continue. Of course, not 100% of the business, but keep a team that are potential and important, to keep continue. As my company is a DMC and our tourists is come from overseas, the day that the country is closed, so it means we don't have any tourists visit the country. So the only market exists is the domestic market, domestic traveler. So we decide to make the campaign, to join the campaign Lao Chiao Lao. It means Lao people visit inside Lao. So at that time, I don't fix any objective on the revenues, income, or make any profit. I thought that the only thing I expect from this is keep some job for my team, and also the people working in industry, in hotel, restaurant, car. The pandemic, lesson learned that I get from this exercise. One is we can be partner to survive, of course, to survive, and we can be the partner to develop our tourism sector. Even before, like a tour company or like the same business model DMC, we thought that we are competitor. But during the crisis time, we work together, we join hands, we brainstorm, and then we find a new idea how we can survive together. That is the one. Second is we create the new market. So of course, after the the country is reopened, the domestic traveler would like to go out to visit other country, and then they call us so we can offer the outbound services. It's very small business, but I think it's some opportunity that we never think to do in this way. And third, I think that we keep the relationship with our supplier stronger than the 18 years that we did. I mean, because during the COVID time, we really talk to each other, we really help each other, and then and share the experience, share the strong point of ourselves, because at the end we are the same product. It means the whole destination. So EXO is the one of the DMC that was certified half-life. So from this certificate, we learn a lot about sustainability, responsible tourism, and then our team can help our supplier, hotel, restaurant, car, tour guide, and then to understand the concept and to create better product to be ready to serve when the country is reopened. So that is the benefit that we get from this work together during the pandemic of COVID. Of course, now when the country is reopened, and then we all are ready, and then we know also our strong point and our best to sell to the tourists. So yeah, I'm very happy to take the decision to continue to work during the pandemic. And yeah, happy also to share that with you. And one thing for the woman is, I think the woman, even in the crisis time, we always taking care of the small detail, like a mother take care of the children, or wife taking care of husband, or as the daughter like me taking care of my parents. So in the business, we have to use this character that the woman, all the women have as well. We taking care of our team, we taking care of our partner, supplier, and clients. This is, I think that in tourism is something that AI will never replace. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Madam. I think that, yes, you know, women, I mean, not all women, obviously, don't give up, you know. We don't resign, we reassign our priorities. So I believe, you know, that in difficult times, we also should support each other. That's also a message I would like to convey. It is very important, you know, that women don't compete with each other and don't even compete with men. Yes. You know, there is room for everybody, and we won't be able, you know, to move forward or to face forward if we keep negative energies. So I hope, you know, this webinar will also, you know, help us, all of us, and of course, men, gentlemen, to, you know, reassign our priorities and to work together. So now, thank you, Madam. Now I would like to invite Sophia from Cambodia. She's the regional manager for Asia Pacific at the Planetera Foundation, which is an international foundation dealing with tourism and local communities. And Sophia, I met her, you know, in 2019 when I decided to have a solo trip to Phnom Penh. I met her because I really wanted to share more about CBT, and now I'm living in Phnom Penh, and so I'm very happy, you know, to be closer to Sophia and to work with her. Sophia, that's you.
Thank you, Catherine. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm so grateful to be part of this webinar to celebrate our women's rights. So the celebration doesn't mean women have only one day right, but every day equal to men. And another special day to celebrate our women amazing contribution to the society. Yeah, so once again, my name is Sophia Sok, currently engaging with Planetara Foundation as a regional program manager. I'm managing on the program in Asia Pacific. So first, I would like to thank to Catherine, our Madam Chair, for this webinar, for inviting me to celebrate with our amazing women, and thank to the previous speaker, for sharing many interesting stories about our women. So being one of the women, I would like to share my journey for the past 15 years in the tourism industry and Planetara work to empower women in the tourism industry. So I'm very interested to hear some figure shared by Kundi from the MTCO about our role, the role of our women in the tourism industry. And we have to accept that women play a really significant role in the tourism industry. And for me, I think it's about the opportunity. Women can perform very well and with very minimal guidance if they are given the opportunity. So I myself can be also one of the example as well. They're coming from a very low educated parent in developing country in Cambodia that not many people around the world know about Cambodia. So men and women should be given an equal opportunity and also equal benefit for the same job. So please allow me to share the screen a little bit so I can bring you a little bit what we have been doing with the women to empower our women. Can you see my screen? Okay. So you see all these pictures are all our amazing women that we've been working around the world. So this is a little bit brief about my journey, starting my career in 2007 with the community-based ecotourism network, working nationwide with many community in the remote area, changing their behavior to promote conservation, using tourism as a tool to promote and to develop the community. And so the achievement at that time is to have the community-based ecotourism standard for Cambodia, which later has been adopted at the regional level by ASEAN in the Southeast Asia country. And then in 2010, I had the opportunity to work as a tourism value chain specialist with micro, small, medium enterprise, promoting the small, medium enterprise through the funding from the USA. And then, more and more opportunity were given. I'm taking all those opportunities as well, from 2016 to 2015, working in various projects, connecting with different levels of tourism, having a wider and wider stakeholder and network in the tourism industry. And 2012, with several tour company set up the Pata Cambodia chapter, which still operation to now. And then just before the pandemic, 2016 to 2019, another big step for me in my career, to take the regional job with ASEAN Secretariat as a quality and standard expert to support the Southeast Asia Ministry of Tourism related to implement the ASEAN Mutual Recognition Arrangement on tourism professional. And during the pandemic, I also managed several tourism-related projects, including community-based ecotourism master plan for the 3 communities along the Mekong, and also facilitate training and assessment for food production with more than 100 chefs in Cambodia, and also spa and wellness training, gastronomy, tourism study, guideline for recognition of prior learning, and with many other experts to develop the safety guideline for tourism industry for during and after pandemic as well. So these are some part of my journey. And then 2020, when I was engaged with Planetara, so it's been my 1-year anniversary with Planetara, working with community. I start my career with the community-based tourism, and now meeting with Planetara. Also, community is a core of their work to promote community, uplift their life using tourism as a tool. So I found that this is my home. So I'm so happy to be back. And this picture, you see Tuong Mala, one of our previous speaker. It was a great experience organized by our Madam Chair, Catherine, in Hoi An during the Mekong Tourism Forum last year. And we had opportunity to experience one of the project partner of Planetara doing the noodle experience in Hoi An. It was a great experience. So that's how the community that we work with in Planetara as well. So who is Planetara? So it's we are the impact and non-profit organization using tourism to uplift community. So we work to connect community to the benefit of tourism by developing and supporting community-owned experience, community-owned enterprise while promoting more responsible travel. So more than 15-year experience in community tourism enterprise development with 100% success rate. So why we're so proud to say that it's 100% success rate, because all the community that have been working with us more than 10 years ago, they are still in operation today, and we are still continue our partnership. So Planetara, we don't implement a short-term partnership, but a long-term partnership. And why we do what we do? Because we would like to see a world where people create their own economic opportunity, places are protected, and culture are celebrated through travel. And this is our team. So you can see that among our team, I think Planetara is one of the organizations that I've been working, that women took more role in the organization. So among our 14 members worldwide, you can see that we only have 3 gentlemen in the organization, and the rest of the position were taken by the women. So again, it's about the opportunity. So women can do all the job if we are given the opportunity. So the core focus of our work is the community development. So community is the core. We put community at the center of our work. We empower the women. We give a fair opportunity for men and women, but women has been empowered, and we can see that most of the community partner that we work with, women has been play a significant role. We promote the UN SDG. Climate crisis and biodiversity is our core activity as well. Promote responsible tourism, child welfare, and animal welfare. So these are our core focus. And how we work. So this is our model. We partner with the travel company, and we identify community, develop the community for them, identify like-minded organizations using tourism to advance social, economic, and environmental goals at the community level. And then with different needs of the community, with the assessment, we provide training and grant as well. So support on the development, including equipment, infrastructure, and capacity building, because different community would have different needs. Some just need market connection, some need more development on capacity building, some would also need more infrastructure and equipment as well to make them ready to host the traveler. And once they are ready, we connect them to the market. It's our travel company partner. So this is how we ensure the sustainability of the project, because our partner will bring traveler to the community to experience, to engage, to learn, and also to benefit the community as well. And we continue mentor our community partner through the network, through the Global Community Tourism Network. So this is the figure of currently 454 community tourism enterprise worldwide have joined our global community tourism network across 78 countries. And this is just to share some example. Of course, all the projects that we've been working with, women have been empowered. So, but this is just some example that this project mainly run by the woman. For example, this lady tuk-tuk driver in Siem Reap. So you mostly see like this job mostly by men, right? And when we mention about lady tuk-tuk driver, they sometimes they even overlook. They said they haven't seen it, they never seen it, and we can see that they can do this job very well, and they're very proud that they can take this role and become more confident. They're very happy that they can take this job and to support their family. And this is the woman with wheel, one of our projects in New Delhi, India. We break their stereotype that women, I think in India and Cambodia is not very different, that women generally like stay home, take care of the family, the children, cook for the husband, for the family. But we also see that many women have the problem, right? When they have a problem with in their relationship, they broke up, they become widower, and then who can they depend on? So they need to be strong, they need to be independent. So we break their stereotype and we build their capacity, and all these women, you know, become the driver and pick up our traveler from the airport and also through the New Delhi city as well. And this is another project, Sisterhood of Survival. So we have women, you know, suffer from human trafficking in Kathmandu and Pokhara in Nepal, and give them job and also train them, build their entrepreneurship, and they become more confident. They have a better life. So after going through the difficult life. And this is another project in Sri Lanka, Sri Craft Shop and Cafe. And they also do an amazing job doing a very beautiful handicraft and also providing a meal experience to our traveler as well. And another project, very beautiful lady from Nepal, provide the homestay and also home meal experience for our traveler. So this is how we work. We provide a meaningful experience to our traveler, more engaged and connect directly with our community. And this is another one. And this lady provide given opportunity to become entrepreneur and provide the meal experience to our traveler as well. So this is just some example that we've been working with, but all the projects that we've been working around the world, women is our center, community is our center. We promote them, we build their confidence, and all the projects are success. Thank you so much. So this is for me to share with everyone. So give them the opportunity. So should not be discriminate. Men and women should be given equal opportunity and also the same benefit for the same job. Yeah, thank you so much, Catherine.
Thank you, Sophia. My great pleasure. Congratulations for the great, inspiring presentation. So I would say, you know, the main theme of the International Women's Day this year is embrace equity. So we talk a lot about equality, but I think it's also important to talk about equity, which is different. I mean, we can give women equal opportunities and equal tools. We also need to give them equal benefits, as you mentioned, Sophia, and possibility to enjoy, you know, the benefits of what they're doing. Sometimes it's just like, of course, they can do as men, but they cannot do actually, because there are so many limitations, glass ceiling, and for that, again, I think the Western world cannot, you know, lecture too much other countries, because, you know, the situation in the Western world sometimes is no better. So I have to say that being myself, you know, born, raised, and educated in France was not easy as a woman. And even if, you know, I was born 1 year later, the Women's Revolution, 68, I didn't see any change, at least at my family level. So again, we should, you know, be more accurate when we judge the situation. We can use better the data, because the evil is in the detail. And sometimes women don't even express their frustration or lack of happiness, because they're not supposed to do that. They're supposed to remain silent. So I want to give them a voice. And this is also what this nation Mekong is willing to do, you know, to give a voice to those who never been asked to talk and express themselves. And of course, it's not only talking, it's doing. Thank you. So now we're gonna have a presentation of Shinobu Ayama from Japan. And again, you know, I'm blessed to have so many great women around me. I met Shinobu for the first time in 2019 in Chiang Mai at Global Asia Pacific Conference of the Global Sustainable Tourism Council. And immediately we clicked. So Shinobu, it's your turn.
Thank you, Catherine, for that wonderful introduction. And hello, everyone. I am grateful to be here today. Thank you for having me. And yeah, I'd like to start my part. My name is Shinobu, speaking from Japan, where I run a social enterprise, Journey for Change, offering consulting and capacity building around sustainable travel and transformation. So as Catherine mentioned just earlier, I believe that the large theme today is equity and also resilience. And actually, these are both very personal topics to me. So I'm happy to talk about these today. I was born in Japan, but grew up in a cross-cultural environment at an international school, traveling to places like India and growing awareness and discomfort of inequities that existed in our countries. So I wanted to go abroad to be a social entrepreneur someday. But in Japan, as you might know, an earthquake, tsunami, and nuclear disaster hit in 2011 in the northern region of the country. And actually the 12th anniversary is going to be in 3 days from now. So, which is also why I'd like to highlight their story today. So when that happened, after that, I decided to go to those regions that were affected, where I grew to love and where I witnessed some of the most beautifully resilient people I've ever met, creating experiences with the local farmers and fishermen to get people and power back up to these areas, which were beautiful yet disadvantaged due to this natural disaster, and which were almost deserted. So going back to today's topics, the definitions, I think, are also very important. Speaking of equity, I think there are various definitions, but I think it consists of some of which is the absence of systematic disparities between groups with different levels of underlying social advantages or disadvantages, such as wealth and power. And with resilience, the ability to stand back up through adversities. So I think that these are very, very much intertwined. And when we're talking about tourism, what is equity in tourism? I believe it's not just about gender, but also about wealth, power of our society, destinations, communities, and people. So rather than gender itself, which I think is also growingly becoming more diverse in our society, I'd like to talk more from an equity perspective, coming from a woman, myself, and sharing some stories and ideas. So what is wealth? What is power? I think this means different things to different people, which should be respected. But conventional business, also in tourism, has somewhat been more about wealth and power, focused on rather short-term profits or mass and quantity. But has this been sustainable? Sadly, I think we have seen otherwise these days. When profits based on our environment, communities, and people being destructed, and now especially the well-being of our people and places, especially needs care so that we can all together overcome adversities such as natural disasters or COVID. So with the experience of COVID, I believe we can say wealth is also health and sustainable well-being. And power is also knowledge, capacity, and resilience to stand back up through challenges, which is also about mutual support, connection, compassion, collaboration of our people, community, and countries. It's not about being fearless, but being able to face the fear and move forward together. And I believe that travel has the power to empower this of the places and their people, the people that visit there, and industries that support those opportunities. But it is evident that there has been an inequity in what travel can bring. So for instance, the exchange and dispersal of people across places, which can bring a wealth and power in a sustainable way. But when we talk about sustainable travel from an environmental perspective, it's best not to move. But in perspective of socioeconomics, culture, well-being, which are equally important components, travel can make a positive contribution. To put into perspective, in Japan, this is before COVID, but it has been told that 896 villages and towns are bound to disappear by 2040. And why? This is multiple reasons, including aging population, overconcentration in cities where jobs, schools are flocked. Rural villages have a heavy weight on the older population, continuing with farming, fishery, primary industry that supports our well-being. So bringing back the case of Tohoku region, which is where the disaster heavily hit, it's a beautiful fishing town with nature and culture, but the earthquake and tsunami hit. However, after that, people flew in from all over Japan and overseas, combining efforts and sprouting new ideas and innovations to overcome adversity. And the town transformed to become the only town in Japan certified sustainable fishery and forestry, with a biomass plant recycling their food waste to energy. And women have played a large role in this. In the fishery industry, for instance, there are women, wives of fishermen, who played a critical role in supporting new tourism experiences, developing them, like barbecuing the seafood and telling the stories. So we created new experiences together to bring people there and real connections with them that also support their well-being emotionally and mentally through trauma, grief, which I think that we are also experiencing through COVID and other issues today. We can also transforming the travelers' behaviors to live well and sustainably with knowledge that they can take back to their own countries. Also, not just Tohoku, these regions, but just above, right above, there is a Hokkaido. I've also had the opportunity to work with them, especially a town called Niseko, which is very famous for powder snow and ski and snowboarding. But at the same time, that is why climate change has been a very visible issue through the decrease of snowfall. So the mayor actually declared a state of emergency, and Niseko is the only town in Japan that has signed COP26. They also have town meetings to engage residents in the policy making, where I've also had the opportunity to speak at. And so they've been creating new experiences, building capacity, where women are very active as well. So we cannot tackle these issues, disasters or climate change alone, and need to be resilient, where again, connection, compassion, and collaboration is very critical. So now what can we do? I believe we have been standing at a crossroads, and we still are. It's time to change from competition to co-creation and go beyond us and them. Sustainable travel, I think, has the power to do so, and driving behavioral to systematic change for a positive balance of our society, environment, economy, and well-being, with resilience as a backbone. So from an individual point of view, what can we do? For instance, 1, connect with places with such sense of purpose. 2, learn local wisdom, share and disseminate knowledge and power to support each other. 3, step outside the comfort zone, be vulnerable and build confidence to face adversity. And 4, enhance each other's mental, emotional, and physical well-being, which is in fact the foundation of resilience. And from the industrial point of view, 1, create more travel that supports this kind of wealth and power. And 2, change mindsets, operations, systems in a way that better connect humans in our natural world. And thirdly, build social resilience with the compassion that we have different experiences and adversities that affect our capacities, which are often advantages or disadvantages that are unseen on the surface. And I believe these are all critical for sustainable development. So that is why we, Journey for Change, will continue to support people, hope to strive to support people, places, and organizations for this kind of change, behavioral to systematic, through consulting and capacity building around transformation, and also focus on resilience based on these on-the-ground experiences, and also well-being, such as through partnerships with the graduate school strong in health science here. And we're also designing programs such as retreats to deepen the mind-body nature connection, compassion, collaboration, and also bringing the essence of travel to coaching programs, also remotely, which can help people, teams, leaders to be well and resilient for a sustainable self, to nurture a sustainable world. So I think my 10 minutes are up. Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you so much, Shinobu. for keeping your time. But thank you so much for this very, very inspiring presentation. You know, you gave me goosebumps, and exactly, you know, it's about compassion. And I think life is not easy or easier for men as well. I think we need to work together to be able, you know, to move forward. So thank you so much for reminding us that, you know, this journey is about change, and we can change our mindset. Thank you so much. So now, last but not least, thank you, Queen Anne, for waiting. Queen Anne were introduced to me by a common friend, lovely friend, and we met for the first time last year, not so long ago, at the ASEAN, the Mekong Tourism Forum in Hoi An. And now, you know, that I am in Hue in Vietnam, I feel even closer than before to you. Also close because, you know, okay, small story, half of my roots are actually back to Vietnam. So, and my father was born in Hue in Vietnam, even if I'm half French, half Vietnamese. So I was actually educated, in a slightly Confucianist way. So I can totally relate how it is in Vietnam. Having said that, it's not about me, it's about you, Queen Anne. I give you the floor.
Yeah, thank you very much, Catherine, for introducing me and giving me the chance to talk today. I really, really appreciated this. Hi, everyone. My name is Anne, and I'm the current managing director of a travel company called Mango Tiger. The name is very weird. Like, let's not talk about it. But like, we are the tour operator and DMC, and yeah, it's like I think like we kind of like similar to like XO Travel. We operate tours that around South Asia. But today I'm here not to talk about our products, but I would like to talk and to share my personal stories about the company that I'm working in, because it's quite related to the topic today. We're talking about the embracing equity and equality for women, and I'm so proud that at Mango Tiger, even though this is a company that founded by 3 men, but like since that till now, it has been 6 or 7 years. The majority of us are women, and not just about that. At Mango Tiger, I'm current managing director, and we also have another colleague, Linda from Cambodia. She's a general manager. So my point is like we were given the chance and freedom to business decisions, and we are also encouraged by the board of director to present ourselves directly to agency in the West and to customers. And I think this is quite, I don't know if it's too or like it's quite rare among the industry, or especially in the region Pacific Asia, because I think most of us have now like local. We have 2 barriers. Like for us Asian women, we have to facing toward the entrepreneurship of like in Asia. First, like with the local people, with all the language barriers, etc. And secondly, with the women. And you know, women in Asia, we have been talking about, we have so many challenging, all the social discouragement, all the harassments, or like all the things that like we were told that we have to stay at home and do the thing. But at this company, we don't have that. So today I would like to share about, just like we have been talking all about, like we should have solutions, we should have create chance. But I want to talk more about some like specific example of like what could have done in exit the company. And I would like to share my talk for in 2 perspectives. First is like as a woman, how to say, staff working for the travel company, and like secondly as the woman entrepreneur, because I am kind of like both. So talking about the what we're doing to embrace inequality at Mango Tiger, how to say, we all know that now women and men, we are kind of like we are having equality at work. We both have to work like 8 hours. in a day in the office. But we all know that women, we have to face with other duties at home, all the cares, all the household chores and everything. I'm so lucky that at the company the boss and everyone knows that. So for our company, we have women, and for example, I have a college who have to pick up her daughter 10 a.m. every day at school, and I'm glad that the boss, like everyone, like agree that okay, you can go and pick up your daughter, because we know that she would work the extra hours later to make up for it, because like as tour operators, sometimes you have to answer phone at 10 p.m. or like in the weekends. We also have another college lead. She suffer from the period pains like drastically every month, and it's okay we told her it's okay to just rest and take a day off, because we understand how painful it could be during those days, and of course without still painful. We also have colleges who have to, my colleague Linda, she actually working at home in Cambodia, but she's a general manager. We everyone in Mango Tiger company will agree to do the company meeting in Wednesday afternoon, just because that's the day that she can arrange her house calls and she can go to the coffee shop, so that she can get better Wi-Fi and she can do the call. So I mean, of all of the, maybe we can have big strategy, we can have big solution to think about. But I would say we can all start from the very small perspective of the very small and little understandings about the local situation of each person, especially for women who have to care for kids, who have to suffer some of the like monthly hormone and other things like that. So that from the entrepreneurship, like the management of the company. Also, beside from that, I would say we are all working in tourism related field, and we understand how important it is to do a field trip, because in tourism, it's not like other industry where you can just stay at home and you can learn a lot from theories. Actually, I do believe that, because I did learn a lot of my experience. I do learn about the world from all my trip, my work trip, my field trips. Sometimes I escort the groups. Sometimes I went out for the business meeting to meet the business partners, and somehow I think it's all very easy for men to do work trips. Do you agree? But it's so difficult for women, usually, especially who have already got married. They usually would say, "Oh, I have kids. I have to stay at home. I cannot do long distance work trip. I cannot do long days tour or business trip." And I wonder why, because I think now, as Catherine has been mentioning, in the West, I think more Western women are doing it, but Asian women are still having to face social disagreement. You're the mom. You should stay at home and look after your kids. So this, to make it happen and to embrace the equity and to support our local staff from in other company, we would try to encourage them. We would personally ask them, do you want to join the trip or not? We would encourage them, just do it. If you cannot make it long, then make it short. If you cannot take the bus, then take the flights. That's the first thing. And the second thing, we also encourage them. And as a friend, as a college, I would personally suggest them to talk and to seek for help from husbands, from family. For example, if you're going on a work trip for a few days, it's okay to ask for your mom, your husband to share the house costs, to help to take care of your kids. And it's totally all right for you to just go. It doesn't mean that once you settle down, once you got married, when you got kids, that doesn't mean that you cannot travel, you cannot do work trip. Because the thing, we want to empower women entrepreneurship, but to do that, to get the skill to get the social connections. We like not just women, I mean, that's people in general. We need to go out to the world. So I think from the company, I'm like it's really happening at the company that we are lucky to have like those boss who really understanding of our situation, understand, and then they kind of like make ways for us to work, to pursue the work that we all love. And we like, once we got all the trust and we got all the belief from them, we won't fail them. And that's how at the company, at my company now, like everyone working so happy. That's from the how to say, employee side. But of course, once the company have created so many chances, so many pathways for you to embrace the opportunity, this is also your, how to say, your duty. I sorry for my words, but like it's just like you who are the one who decide that you can get it or not. Because I know some Asian women, we have been brought up and like saying that you got to be polite, got to be shy, you got to be modest, and like usually Asian women are shy. But what if you were given the chance, like for example, like, do you want to join the business meeting in the Europe? Do you want to represent us to join the travel show in Berlin? And if you don't say yes, even though if you feel like I do want to do, but I just so shy and I don't know what to do, and then you lost a chance. But like what I would want to encourage ladies is like say yes to all of those opportunities. Of course, we don't say yes when we have zero confidence, but you also don't need to wait until you got like 100% everything so sure. You don't have to wait like you don't have to wait for all the visa to be done for you. You don't have to prepare like what I would to say, because you got time to prepare for it. Say yes first, embrace the chance, embrace opportunities, and make it happen. So that all comes from my personal story. Why I am here is because like I started my career is like very similar to everyone. I started like very shy, being a very introvert Asian woman, and at first I didn't even think that tourism is my thing. I was encouraged to stay at home as a teacher actually, but I was lucky to kind of to meet my business partner, can say the founder of the company now, and throughout times we share the belief. And he asked, one day he just asked like, "When do you want to move to the company that we will all start up? It will be a small one, but in this company we will embrace the local power. We will give local people and especially local women the chance to be director, to run the company, and etc." And I said yes, and since then I have been able to learn a lot. I enjoy the trips with Western customer, and I did having to receive a lot of bad talks like, "You're the girl, you shouldn't go out like that. Who would you be able to marry with?" Because like I was talking about marriage girl, but also like to a single girl, for example, like me. Your parents, your relatives, they would kind of like, in a way, they would look down on you. They could think bad things about you. But like if ladies, we can like embrace it, and then we just take the opportunities and ask for help from the family and the employees, and with the ability to choose the right employees as well. I do think that everyone can have chance and to embrace and to just like develop your career pathway. And don't think that like once you are married you have to stay at home. If you cannot ask for a husband or family to help, you can rent a cleaner, you can rent a babysitter, you can if you cannot cook at home every time, you can order food at home, and by that you are actually creating job for others. Because in Asian, I don't know if it is similar to the West, but in Asian you also have the norms that like women Asian would have to stay at home, clean the house, cook the foods. But now like you can say no to that, and then you can say yes to your opportunities. So that mainly the point that I would really want to share about. And I hope that like just because like I've been so excited and hope that it's not too messy. And thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Quinn. I can totally relate, even if I'm coming from the Western world, I would say be fearless, because basically fear is in your mind, nowhere else. And you will see that it's not a big deal. And the more, you listen to your needs and aspirations, the more you feel happy with yourself. It's not only about making people happy with you, because they will never be happy,
Yep.
You have to be happy, and you have to be surrounded by nice people. I'm lucky that my husband, I need to mention him, allows me to travel and allows me to do basically whatever I want, because he has no choice. I would say he's even cooking his own food, so that's great. But what I mean is that, yes, don't be your own enemy also, like you, believe it or not, I was an introvert, very shy. I didn't believe in myself. And finally, when I was 20, I just like jumped, and I'm still here. So you can do it. And if you need to talk with someone, if you need some encouragement, I'll be there, I mean, when I say you, it's you, but all my sisters and mothers or daughters. So now, thank you so much. I would like to conclude with saying that, societies, destinations, organizations, communities that demonstrate leadership in sincerely and effectively promote gender equity and equality will be seen, will be acknowledged as valuable, and they will be acknowledged as attractive. So I think it's a fair move, smart move, to bet on equity and equality. And it's not about only women and men. It's about any kind of people who are, left out or considered as minorities or underprivileged, as we say. We need to give a chance to everybody, because everybody has a role to play in this society. So that's the end of this beautiful session. Thank you so much, my sisters. And thank you so much to the people who join us at this beautiful session. I hope this is not the end. I would like to give the word to Kundi, because she would like to talk about the Mekong Tourism Forum. And I think it's also my pleasure also to support this event.
Yes, thank you so much, Catherine. Before we all finish this session, thank you so much for giving me the floor. Just need 1 minute to talk about the Mekong Tourism Forum, which was the event was mentioned by a few speakers here. Thank you so much for your great time that you made last year. And this next month in April, we are going to have the next Mekong Tourism Forum for 2023. Please mark your date. The date of the Mekong Tourism Forum next month will be on the 25th. We start with a welcome dinner, and the forum will take place on the 26th of April. For the 27th of April, we have the technical tours, which involves some elements which you cannot find it elsewhere. It's only at Mekong Tourism Forum that organize those special elements for you, which consists of the sustainable tourism practice, ecotourism practice, which are being practiced in the Sihanouk Vale and Koh Rong. And normally the tours, the packages tours that are available in the market do not include these exclusive tour. So I would like to invite you to consider and mark your calendar and join us at Mekong Tourism Forum. The venue is in Sihanoukville in Cambodia, and particularly which fits this session so much is one of the panels that we have in Mekong Tourism Forum this time is about women empowerment. And thank you, Catherine, who will be one of the speakers for this panel session. And we also have the various speakers, are very well recognized speakers, specialized in the women empowerment, including the senior consultant from Asian Development Bank, who will be our moderator for this session. So I am here today to not only to talk about that, the role of women, and it's also my pleasure to be here listening to all your insights. And also please allow me to invite you to join Mekong Tourism Forum next month. Thank you so much. And for registration, please log in mekongtourism.org. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dee. I'm sorry, we don't have much time for questions. But of course, we keep the conversation open. You can reach out whenever you want. And of course, if you have a pressing question, just let me know. And I need to apologize, for the horrible visibility or so. That's the side effect of traveling, but it's okay. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much, Kathy, for wonderful moderation that you did, and all the wonderful ladies. It was really great. It was an honor to have you all, and happy Women's Day. And women are the most important in the tourism industry. I think everybody agrees with that. So thank you so much. The recording will be available in the coming hours on our website, tourismwebinar.com, and the bio and the profile of all the speakers. Thank you so much, and have wonderful Women's Day.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
We will be online if somebody still want to ask any questions. Thank you so much, Kathy. Thank you. It was really
Thank
good.
you, Reza.
Thank you.
You did a great job.
You too.
But thank you to both of you.
Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. My brother, Mr. Ahmed Sultani, my brother, Dr. Talib Rifai, dear Kathy, and all the speakers, congratulations on this successful webinar. Yes, it is part of the SDG goals for sustainability is to make women empowerment. As Dr. Talib said, women always play an important vital role for tourism industry. They represent the highest numbers in terms of employment, and they do provide a very good experience for the visitors and tourists. Thank you so much all. You have done a marvelous job. Congratulations.
Thank you so much, Mr. Rod Habis. Thank you so much. It's great to see you here, Mr. Rod Habis from Basira Complex from Saudi Arabia. You are doing great. Saudi Arabia is opening and is going very well. God bless you. Thank you, sir, for being here. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you, sir. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum. Thank you, dear Talib. I see you are still here. Thank you so much. Talib, are you here? Dear Talib, are you still here?
Yes, Rita, I am.
Okay.
I am.
Okay. Thank you so much for being here. A question, we have
Whatever.
2 more webinars today, you know that. Hello?
Today, what
Yes.
time?
After 1.5 hours is one more, is about the African women in tourism, also with many high profile speakers. And one in 4 hours about the women and peace.
Okay.
Maybe I send you the codes and maybe you just come in the beginning, yes? Just say hello and they will be very happy.
Okay, okay.
Okay, I will send you the Zoom
Please
links later.
send me the
Thank you
link.
so much. Have a nice day. Thank you.
Thank you.